Hi there, Adriano here, Head of Education at Radio. Today I'm here with Bonnie and I'm going to showcase a styling technique called Modern Wave. I'm going to be using the Digital Tong from Diva for styling. Okay, so the first step to achieve a modern wave technique is to section the hair in two different zones, front and back. Very important that the section is slightly diagonal. Section just behind the ear, and the diagonal section will ensure that there won't be any division showing at the end of the look. And then I'm just going to clip this at the back. I'm going to show you three different types of waves that I'm going to use in order to achieve the modern wave look, and I'm going to use the 32mm Diva Tong. Obviously, the size of the tongue has an impact on the wave pattern. The bigger is the tongue, the bigger will be the wave. I find the 32mm quite ideal because it gives a very undone, soft and natural finish through the hair. So the first wave will be done with directing the hair from left to right. Very important to don't elevate the hair too much, keep the elevation quite low, open the barrel, go with the tongue, roll the hair around before closing the barrel and twist it back. It's important that the most prominent wave will be done quite close to the roots, and then just keep sliding down, twisting it, and as you can see, the angle of the tongue is now quite parallel to the hair because down here I want to create a quite soft, gentle wave. Okay, so the second wave will be going into the opposite direction of my first one. So I'm taking another small part of hair. Now the tongue, instead of looking up, is looking down. It's very important that each wave is done in an opposite direction within the one next to each other. So I'm approaching it from this way. Open the tongue, again, roll the hair around the tongue and close the barrel. I'm keeping it quite close to the roots by rolling back the tongue, and then I'm releasing the tension and slightly going more diagonal on the same direction of the hair. Twisting it. Always groom the hair with a comb, the ends. As you can see, this is two types of waves in two opposite directions. The third wave that I'm going to show you is called twisted wave. I love to integrate it with the other two waves because it will give a more dynamic and better body into the final look. I'm going to take a small portion and I'm going to create a very small twist every time I'm turning around the hair, around the tongue. So the closest you keep the hair while you're twisting it, the wavier it will be the pattern that you're creating. Time is very, very important. Every hair has a different setting time, so it's important to understand how long you have to keep it in order to achieve a wave that will last a long time. The twisted wave gives a bit more volume and texture into the hair. Something to keep in mind if you are wishing to achieve a Hollywood wave, this is the wave to go for. So I just show you the three different waves that I'm going to use for this look. I'm not going to proceed on the full look by starting on the side zone. And the hair has been already sectioning between front and back zone. Okay, I'm going to approach the side zone. So I would like the first wave on the side to fulfill all the jawline and the neck area. In order to achieve that, instead of positioning the tongue on top, I will position it underneath. This will allow me to create a wave that it will bend into the jawline. Very important is to work with low elevation. I'm holding the hair, twist around, and then roll back. In this way I can get quite close, and then I will change the angle of the tongue and just sliding down into the ends. As you can see, the wave is bending in, fulfilling effect. The second section of the side zone is parallel to the previous. And then I'm going to split this in two. An important detail, when you do that, it's really important to work with a diagonal section. This will ensure that every section will blend together without showing any division point. I'm going to be working with the front section first. I'm going to use a flat wave in order to open up this area, and as a reference point, I'm going to use the arch of Bonnie's eyebrows. Again, I'm just going to bend the head a little bit in order to allow me to work with a low elevation. I'm going to open the tongue, roll the hair around, and close it. Spin it back. At the front, the hair is quite fine, so it takes way less time to set and to achieve a wave that will last longer. There we go. So I'm reaching like the highest point of my side zone. I'm going to split this in three. I'm starting from the very first one, which I want it to flow away from Bonnie's face. Here we go. Flat wave, and then I'm going to do a twisted wave, and then another flat wave in the opposite direction of the first one. And I think this is what it will give a very soft, natural finish. I'm now approaching the very top section that I'm going to, again, subsection with diagonal section and follow the same wave pattern that I've done previously. Every section, every subsection is waved on an opposite direction to the previous. This will ensure a really nice separation within the look. So the first side zone is complete. I will now move on the other sides and I will follow a very similar pattern, and then I will proceed into the back zone. Just finished the front zone on Bonnie's hair. The reason why I'm only starting at the front is because the hair has more time to set on the front area, which ultimately is where the wave to last the longest. I will now move on the back zone, and I will keep working with the three types of wave that I showcased to you at the beginning of the video. So I'm about to start the section number one of the back zone. Bonnie's hair has a bit more frizz at the roots around the hairline. So in this scenario, what I think I love to do in order to control this frizz is to use the tongue at the roots like this, almost like a straightener. This really helps to control all the little baby hair that we often are located around the hairline. Once this is done, I will then proceed with one of the flat waves that I showed you earlier. The back zone is almost done. I'm about to approach the crown zone, where I'm going to be working with a smaller thickness of section in order to achieve a messier and flowy feeling into the hair. As I'm approaching the crown, the sections are always diagonal. I will be able to reach the highest point with a little diamond section. The reason why I'm working in this way, because I'm very aware that this area can split quite easily if it's not sectioned properly during the styling process. So this sectioning pattern, it helped me to create a very uniform feeling into this zone. So I'm about to reach the very top section of the crown zone, and I'm wishing to gain a little bit of volume at the roots. I'm going to be using the roundness of the tongue to achieve a bit more lift. The tongue is positioned at the roots, and without closing the bar roll, I'm just keep sliding the tongue in and out quite close to the roots in order to achieve a bit more lift. And then I will keep proceeding with a flat wave. So on the last section, I'm going to use the tongue to achieve a bit more lift at the roots. By placing the tongue quite close to the scalp and doing up and down, I can kind of mold the hair and also control all the baby hair at the roots. When this is done, I will then keep working with a flat wave in the same manner. As you can see, there is a very nice lift. I think this is a very nice touch. It's always nice to gain a little bit more lift on the crown zone. So I let Bonnie's hair to cool down for a few minutes. This is always recommended for a long-last result in the styling. I'm now going to open up the hair with my hands in order to gently mix up working on. To finish up this look, I'm going to use a combination of 3 different products. The first one is an oil-based leave-in conditioner, which is going to give a defining feeling towards the ends in order to close and smooth all the cuticles of the hair. The second one is hairspray, medium hold, just to make the look last longer. And the third one is just a little bit of texturizing spray in order to gain just a bit more grip and texture into the hair. The very last touch will be to reapplying a little bit of wave with the tongue in order to achieve a bit more lift on this area where the hair tends to sit a little bit flatter. I'm just taking very fine section, re-waving it very close to the roots. This will ensure a really nice lift on the top zone. It's important that the sections are very, very thin. I like to wave this one, wave a bit more. And as you can see at this stage, the tongue has to be used in a very fluid way. I'm going to give a good shake. Very last touch, in order to control the little baby hair, I love to use a makeup brush with hairspray, because this will give me a very nice polish finish around the hairline, still maintaining an element of grittiness and roughness to the overall look. I hope you enjoyed the modern wave technique using the Digital Tong from Diva Pro Styling. Thank you very much for watching.